so they can accelerate their career in university or
I hadn't heard of
college.
that myself.
Yes,
Right.
and it's in Prince George's County and very much in Montgomery County. It's present. So we used to just do the test. Now we've created a curriculum that supports that. We train the teachers who teach the AP course, the advanced placement courses, we call them AP, in the high schools and so on. So there's a whole infrastructure that we're building now to support
Wow.
many of these students. The last piece I want to mention about that is that AP, in most people's minds, is associated with elite schools, elite high schools, you know, well-off high schools in the suburbs and so on. When Gaston came, Gaston said he wanted to, this is his phrase, democratize AP. So what we've done with a lot of challenges along the way is to try to push AP further and further down in schools. There was a time when teachers selected the kids. They said, okay, you're AP quality, you're AP quality. Generally what happened with that kind of selection is that it tended to screen out a lot of smart kids who didn't fit a particular profile. The way we've been treating it now and trying to work with high schools to get it to work is to do what Gaston says, democratize it. We want it to go further down. So if you look at Florida, which has been our test site for this, Florida, I think, I don't remember the exact stats, but Florida's increased its Hispanic enrollment in AP courses way into the double digits. I mean, like 30% or something like that. And I think, and they've doubled African American enrollment in AP. There is some criticism of that because in many people's mind, the AP is sort of the elite. So if you democratize it, the question is, are you watering down the quality of the test?
Right.
So we had an audit last year to look at it nationally, and we came up with a number of recommendations actually to strengthen the test, but there was no evidence before that it had been watered down. So I think we're headed in the right direction with this, and Gaston's been very visionary in this respect. One last thing biographical about Gaston. He's made money. Before Gaston became governor of West Virginia, he had done very well as a businessman in West Virginia. Well, what most people don't know about Gaston, that's the public image. What most people don't know is that Gaston's dyslexic.
Is what?
He's dyslexic. So
No kidding.
he didn't learn to read until very late. And he says publicly that, you know, if I didn't have supportive parents with means, I probably would be like many of these kids. So he not only recognizes it intellectually, it's a personal story for himself, the struggle of getting through school and trying to learn to read and that sort of thing. And he remembers memorizing things. His father sitting down with him in the morning and his having to memorize reading passages before he went to school. So he empathizes with these kids who have a difficult time in school, and he brings that kind of passion, that kind of excitement to this new job.
Sounds wonderful. What we're going to do, we're going to take a break now, and we're going to come back, and you're going to tell us something about the four angels and the saints, something like that.
Four saints and an angel.
Four saints and an angel.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out who the four saints are.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll be back in a second. Hi, welcome back to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. An exciting guest. I'm excited myself to have Dr. Williams here, and he's going to tell you how this organization really is functioning, the problems that they felt that they need correcting, and that's what he's doing. Doc, tell us about what we were talking about.
No, I was saying that it's interesting how the organization started. We're 109 years old now, and back in 1900, the then president of Harvard, thought that Harvard should be educating the best minds in the country, not simply the best off minds in the country. And so the Scholastic Aptitude Test was actually created to do that, to find the best minds in the country. The idea was that regardless of your background, your financial, economic, socioeconomic background, you ought to be able to get the best education in the country, which Harvard believed itself to be providing at the time. And the test would do that, so that instead of being the playground of the privileged, it actually was designed to be the playground of the bright. And that's what the test was originally designed to do.
Great, and you've done a wonderful job with that. Now, what we want to get to is this four saints and an angel. Now, this is something that Dr. Williams has come up with. I want to let him explain it.
Well, I've always wanted to write. I mean, I've been writing since I was a kid, and when I was in the presidency here, I was writing all the time, because most people don't understand what goes on behind the scenes in these jobs, but they do keep you up at night. And
I believe it.
and what would happen is that I'd wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd toss and turn, I couldn't get back to sleep. So I figured I could use the time more productively. So I'd get up at 3 and I would start writing. I'd write from 3 to 5 and then come hang out with you from 5:30 till 7.
Yeah, right.
At the gym.
Right.
And then I'd go to work. And so I would write these books, I would edit them, send them around to maybe a dozen friends of mine that range from college professors in English all the way down to drivers of cars and things. So that I had this range of readers, and I would edit them, bind them, and put them on a shelf. And when I stepped down from the presidency, I decided to start publishing. And Four Saints and an Angel was the first one that caught. So we're out with that now. It came out, I think it came out in February or March or something.
The title, what's that about?
Yeah,
who are the four saints and who's the angel?
I think I titled it that way, Ed, because when I go on the church grounds, all the Christians buy it because they think it's about church. But no, it's actually about, it's about 7 friends, and 3 of the guys, their surnames are all Saint something, like St. John, and so on. And the island is called St. Eurybius, so those are the 4 saints. And then the angel part is, the central character is going mad. And it's the angel that he hangs on to in his mind that integrates his psyche. So he imagines the angel. Nobody else sees the angel in the book, but he hangs on to her because that's the only thing that keeps his mind intact. And so that's how we came.
So one, I mean, what are you talking about? You talking about 2 characters, 4 characters, or 5 characters?
There are actually 7 characters in the book.
7 characters.
They're friends from high school, and one of the guy who's going nuts. He left the island, came to the United States, and disappeared sort of for 25 years. Then he comes back, and as soon as he gets back, he commits a murder. And that murder then becomes the central act that gets all the friends to start investigating their relationships, not only among themselves, but all of them with him. So it's really a novel. It's a novel of intrigue, but it's really about the relationships among those 7 people and the stresses that they've gone through and so on. So it's told as a series of retrospectives where the characters look back and think about their relationship to this character who's committed a murder, but also to other people within the group.
So they really, they come to his aid when he has.
Well, that's the thing. There's a struggle around that issue because the morality of the country says that essentially anybody who goes to prison is on their own. I mean, you kind of ignore people once they're in prison; they become dead to you. So there's this struggle because he was very close to everybody in the group. There's this struggle within the group about who's going to support him, or if they can support him without all the social punishments that then come from being around someone who's committed a murder. So it's the tension is created by whether these other 6 characters will act or not. And their relationships with each other become either stressed or strained, dependent on where they go in terms of trying to help this guy who is in prison.
And your point there is to bring out where individuals actually work with another individual that they grew up with that had some
Sure.
problems, criminal problems,
Yeah.
and they wanted to decide whether to get together to help him.
Two sets of values.
Mm-hmm.
You've got sort of what I would describe as personal values,
Mm-hmm.
where how you feel about an individual, but then there's social values or society's values.
Right.
And the society can impose itself on you, or
Right.
restrain you from acting in
Yeah.
ways that you would normally act
Well,
if you acted on your own.
that's in real life too. You know.